Hello, everyone. So what we have here today is a route optimization utility that was created in Microsoft Excel. So basically, it's a utility that's going to calculate optimal distances between multiple points. Who it's for is really, it's going to be a utility that would be used by sales reps, real estate agents, delivery drivers, timber surfers, dispatchers, etc. In short, it's for individuals who travel to multiple locations daily or empower those who do. So your work involves interacting with customers in person. You start your day with a list of contacts to visit, but you want to plan and execute your day in the most efficient manner possible. If you're like most, that means tediously typing or copying and pasting customer addresses into Google Maps and then manually arranging the entries to minimize route distance and time. Well, now there's a better way. What if you could perform route optimization using a tool you most likely already have on your laptop or computer and without having to subscribe to a $20 per month service or having to teach yourself advanced Microsoft Excel skills? Well, now you can. So again, in short, what this utility does is it takes a list of addresses and tells you which one is the closest to your current location. When you're done there, delete it from the list, and the utility automatically tells you which customer location is the next closest. Where it really shines is when your list changes. And doesn't it always? Your administrative assistant contacts you with a new lead and wonders if you're in the area. A customer contacts you and cancels their appointment. COVID-19, anyone? Days are dynamic. Your tools should help you pivot to meet those changes. In this demo, I will show you just how easily that can be accomplished with this tool. Frustration isn't a productive emotion. Minimize it in your life. So we'll start off by copying and pasting a list of addresses into our utility here. And then we're going to tell the utility where we are. So we're going to start at the office. It's got some entries entered in here down around Tampa, Florida. And as you can see, nearly instantaneously, the utility will tell us and highlight which location is closest distance-wise and which one is closest time-wise. Generally, those are the same, but as you can see in this example, we have a client that's 23 miles away, but 40 minutes away, versus one that's a mile farther, client number 3, but 13 minutes closer. And so this is predominantly how this works. When I'm done at this location, I decide I want to go to client 3, so I enter into the spreadsheet and I tell it I am now at that location, and I go and delete the location where I was. Now it tells me, now that I'm here, again, I have still that location there in Clearwater that's closer mileage-wise by 1 mile, but again, it's a full 10 minutes farther away. And so I complete my work here and I decide to go to client number 4, which is the next closest. And so I enter that I am at that location and I delete the client 3. And automatically now it tells me of the 3 remaining client locations, client number 1, finally the one there in Clearwater, is the one that's closest. Now, as often happens, and this is what I alluded to earlier, that our days are not static, they're dynamic. Let's say you get a call, or perhaps if this is in a shared location, that it gets updated and the administrative assistant tells you there's another call that's come in. And so however that data gets entered, whether it's by you or by another party, we enter that data in and we find out that, lo and behold, our current plan for our next location is where we should be. and that is to go to client number 1. Okay, so we tell the system that we are now at client location number 1 and we have completed our work at client 4, and then that tells us that the next closest spot is going to be our client 6 location when we're through here. And just let's say that client 6 changes their mind, something has come up and they are no longer available to have a visit from you, and they get deleted, and then immediately tells you who's the next closest from your current location. Okay, so a few things to point out here. This utility is tied down pretty tightly. We want it to be where people do not inadvertently change formulas or other aspects of this spreadsheet. So if you try to click on any of these headers for the columns, you will not be able to change them. Anything in columns H and I, which are for references to other sheets in this workbook, again, those will not be accessible. Anything outside this box. So basically, you have room for about 25. Of course, if you need it, we can change that. This seemed like a reasonable number to start with. Okay, so the only thing you're going to be able to enter is client data here. If we look at sheet number 2, just kind of see the underpinnings of how this works. You'll see that there's just a couple entries here. One is the drop-down entries for sheet 1, column G, and so you may have noticed that when we select one of those, we have a drop-down. So you could either type the word here or select it from a drop-down. If you were to try to enter something else, I am here, and then it's going to validate that and say that that is not valid data to go into that cell, and so you'll have to change it to something else. So again, this is just to keep multiple users from getting in and changing things and then the system not working and then having to be supported on the back end. Lastly, on sheet number 3, this is again quite a bit of where the duck's feet are paddling under the water, the things that you don't see, and this is just the nuts and bolts of how the lookup calls are passed over to the mapping software and returned back. Again, you cannot change any of this. You cannot see any of the formulas. This is intended to be a utility that you will simply use it, and it will make your day more efficient and productive by helping you get to client locations in the most efficient manner possible. Okay, so let's circle back around and talk about what you might need. And again, all of this is listed in the video description below. You will need Microsoft Excel 2013 or above. I can tell you this utility has been tested on versions 2013 and 2016. Newer versions will probably work, but older ones might not. Okay? So the second thing that you'll need is you will need the developer tab added to your Microsoft Excel menu. So that is referring to this tab right here. This is free and it's very easy to do. And in the documentation below under next steps, you will see about a half a dozen steps, very simple, on how to get that added if it's not already added. And lastly, you will need a Bing Maps API key. Again, just like the developer tab, this is free and very easy to obtain. Also takes about a half a dozen or so steps. Very straightforward, and you will have that API key added. And basically what you'll do is copy and paste it into cell C2, and that's all there is to it. Okay? If you like what you have seen and feel like this would be beneficial to you or to other parties in your company, organization, then I would ask that you email me at the email address listed below in the description. You're just going to request a copy of this Microsoft Excel utility, this route optimization tool. When I receive your email, I will issue you a PayPal invoice, and it will be for $9.99. Again, $9.99. Very reasonable cost for this tool. Would probably not even be worth your time at that price to try to recreate it yourself. Upon receipt of your payment within 1 business day, I will send you 3 things. I will send you this spreadsheet that we have demoed here today, and I will send you 2 sets of instructions in PDF format. The first will be how to add the developer tab to your ribbon. Again, the steps are below, but the instructions that I send you in PDF format will include screenshots, so it'll be very simple to follow along. Likewise, for the Bing Maps API key, I will send you instructions in PDF format with screenshots to show you how to do that very simply. And then it's up to you. Just load this up, start putting data in, and start being more efficient and productive in your travels for your job. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for your attention.